Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So, you want to know what it takes to become an AI engineer in 2026? Think of it like a video game. You start at level 1 and work your way up to boss mode. Today, we're handing you the complete level up guide, the full walkthrough to get you there.
All right, so here's our quest map. First, the quest begins. That's the basics. Then we're unlocking new powers, diving into the tech that's behind everything. After that, we hit the agentic revolution, which is a total game changer. And finally, we'll peek at the final frontier. What's coming next? Let's get into it.
Okay, level 1. The quest begins. So before we start our adventure, we got to pick our character class, right? What exactly is an AI engineer on this 2026 path? So here's the key thing you got to understand. An AI engineer isn't necessarily the person inventing the AI model from the ground up in a lab. Nope, you're the specialist, the builder, who takes these incredibly powerful pre-trained models and tools and actually builds something useful with them. You're solving real problems and improving how we experience, everything. It's all about practical application. And here's the learning roadmap, our official quest map. You have to start with the fundamentals of AI. That's our starting zone. From there, the path splits. You've got your machine learning branch and your deep learning branch. You'll need skills from both. And where does it all lead? To the final destination, advanced generative AI. That's the end game, for now. You hear these terms thrown around all the time, right? AI, machine learning, deep learning. The easiest way to think about it is like one of those nesting dolls. AI is the biggest doll. It's the whole grand idea of making smart machines. Open it up, and inside you've got machine learning, which is a way to do AI, specifically by learning from data. And then inside that doll, you find deep learning. That's the really powerful stuff using these massive multi-layered neural networks. It's the engine behind basically all the coolest AI you see today. All right, section 2. Time to level up and unlock some new powers. We've got the basics down. Now let's master what's driving modern AI. We're going straight under the hood. So, what's the actual engine behind all this crazy modern AI? What's the one piece of tech that gave us stuff like ChatGPT and all those mind-blowing AI images? What's the secret sauce? Well, it all comes down to something called the transformer model, and here's how it basically works. First, it chops up text into little pieces, or tokens. Then it turns those pieces into numbers. That's embeddings. It also keeps track of where each word was in the sentence, which is super important for context. But the real genius, the secret weapon, is something called attention. Imagine the AI is reading a sentence. The attention mechanism is like a super smart spotlight that highlights the most relevant other words for understanding the word it's currently looking at. So it knows that in a sentence, the word "it" refers to the ball and not the robot. It's not just reading, it's understanding relationships. That's the breakthrough. Now, these models are amazing, but they have a little problem. Sometimes they just make stuff up. We call them hallucinations. So how do you fix that? With a technique called RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. And the best way to think about it is you're giving the AI an open book test. Instead of just relying on its memory, you give it access to a library, a knowledge base of up-to-date factual info. Before it answers, it goes and looks things up. This keeps its answers grounded in reality and makes them way, way more trustworthy. Okay, get ready because this next part is a massive level up. We're entering the agentic revolution. This is where AI stops just talking and starts doing. So what is agentic AI? Well, forget about your standard chatbot that just answers questions. We're talking about active, goal-oriented systems. An AI agent can look at a problem, come up with a step-by-step plan, and then, here's the key part, use tools to actually carry out that plan. We're talking about browsing the web, using APIs, running code, all on its own with minimal help from us. And just look at the difference this makes in practice. A standard LLM, its main job is generating text. An AI agent, its job is executing tasks. Check out the task completion rate. A normal model might get a simple task right maybe half the time. But an agent, because it can plan and use tools, can nail complex multi-step tasks with like 90% success. It's proactive instead of reactive. It's the difference between a calculator that can do math and an accountant who can do your entire taxes for you. And yeah, people in the know are calling this a huge deal. As App Inventive puts it, agentic AI isn't just another update. It's the trend that takes artificial intelligence to the next level. It's a genuine leap. All right, let's look to the horizon. The final frontier. We've seen the path, we've seen the powers, so where is this all going? What's the real-world impact going to be by 2026? So let's make some actual predictions for 2026. No vague stuff, let's get specific.
First up, robots. Now, humanoid robots get all the headlines, right? But the prediction here with a 95% confidence is that the real action is with mobile robots. You know, the ones already working in warehouses and factories. By 2026, they're expected to outnumber humanoid robots in actual commercial use by a whopping 10 to 1. It turns out, for now, practicality beats the hype.
And if you ever want to know if a trend is real, just follow the money. The market for agentic AI is absolutely set to explode. We're looking at it growing from around $7.8 billion in 2026 to over $52 billion by 2030. That is a massive jump, and it tells you exactly where the big bets are being placed. And this is what's just over the horizon, the really bleeding-edge stuff. We're talking about multimodal AI, systems that don't just understand text, but can see and hear the world around them. Then there's embodied AI, which is when you take that intelligence and put it inside a physical robot that can actually move and interact with things. And then there's quantum AI, which could give us a level of computing power that would make today's supercomputers look like pocket calculators. The potential there is, well, it's almost unimaginable. So there you have it. The roadmap is clear. The future is literally being built right now as we speak. We've shown you the path from the starting zone to the final frontier. The only question left is, what are you going to create with it?